Welcome to Emotional Healing for Christian Women, the podcast where faith meets inner healing. Imagine waking up without the weight of shame, guilt, fear, and loneliness. Imagine finally feeling worthy, confident, and at peace. And doing this with God by your side. That's the healing we can begin together. I'm Marvel Adeyemi, a psychotherapist and a faith-led women's coach. Let's get started. You might be surprised to learn that just last week, I received an unexpected email from the Australian Christian Business Awards. I've been nominated. And honestly, I'm touched. But as humbled as I am, what matters to me most isn't the nomination, is the story that brought me here. Yes. So what looks like clarity and confidence today actually started in a quiet, hidden place. Moments where I questioned everything. Moments where I didn't feel qualified. I just felt called. Right? Hi, lovely. I'm Marvel Adeyemi, a trauma-informed psychotherapist, a faith-led women's coach, and the voice behind the emotional healing for Christian women. Today, I want to pull back the curtain and talk a bit about what is behind the work that I do and how God, has been unfolding something greater than I imagined. From therapy sessions to starting a podcast, writing my debut book. Now I'm creating retreats, having speaking platforms. This is not just a business. It's an assignment. And let me tell you the story behind it all. I was already a qualified counselor. I was already a qualified counselor overseas. I had experience. I had a practice. But when I moved to Australia, I had to start all over again. No professional network. A young family that just migrated. I felt invisible, overqualified, and under-recognized. But even in that hidden place, God was birthing something. He was refining my voice. He was deepening my empathy. He was preparing me, not just for clients, but for women carrying deep emotional wounds, just like I had. I didn't start this work from strategy. I started from surrender, from a place of pain and obedience. Women kept finding me. Christian women who were high achieving on the outside, but burned silently on the inside. They didn't just need strategy, they needed healing. They didn't just need coaching, they needed God in a clinical, safe space, all in one. And that's where my work began to take shape. Today, I provide trauma-informed therapy and Christian coaching for women navigating emotional wounds, family of origin pain, rejection, struggles, spiritual confusion. I hold space for women who have never truly felt seen or safe, not in their families, not in their churches, and not even in their own bodies. So I combine clinical practices like EMDR with biblical wisdom, spiritual discernment, and insight. And the result, healing happens faster, deeply, more completely. I'm not here to fix people. I'm here to walk with them back to wholeness, the kind only God gives. And without running ads or chasing visibility, my podcast has reached Australia, the US, the UK, Nigeria. My blog post I wrote in my living room led to a speaking invitation, and they said to me, we want a psychotherapist who truly understands lived experience. Women from my community say things like, your words helped me walk away from a toxic situation with peace. I finally feel seen and understood in my healing journey. Marvel, your session feels like I'm meeting God in the room. I've had health organizations reach out to include me as a provider without me applying. And many women end their therapy sooner because we're not just dealing with the symptoms, we're dealing with their soul. And that is God. One of the biggest shifts I made this year was stepped out of secular-only services and I niched down to support Christian women intentionally. I knew I'd lose clients, and I did. My email list dropped. Someone subscribed because they didn't want faith-led content. But do you know what else happened? Clarity came, conviction deepened, kingdom connections increased. I started showing up on LinkedIn fully. No more diluting my identity, no more hiding my faith. And what surprised me most, it wasn't just Christians who responded. Colleagues I never thought would connect with my Christian worldview began sending messages saying, "Thank you for showing up." This is more than therapy. It is more than coaching. It's a kingdom calling. And I've helped women launch trauma-informed ministries, write their books that they've carried for years. They've found their voice after decades of silence. They've started purpose-aligned businesses and walked away from employment, relationships, connections that weren't of God. They've come home to themselves and to God. And I've also created safe spaces for others through my podcast featuring other Christian women in business who didn't necessarily have an active platform. We partnered. That for me is leadership. That's discipleship. That's kingdom. If you strip away the emails, the downloads, the opportunities, this is still about one thing: helping women heal so they can hear God clearly and walk fully in their divine purpose. I often say God is still writing your story, but healing is the part where you pick up the pen. And so I'm trusting God for greater, more women to be set free, more global reach, more wholeness in the body of Christ. Because when a woman heals, a generation is transformed. If anything I've said today resonates with you, why don't you grab a copy of my debut book, Beyond the Hurt? Subscribe to my YouTube page, podcast, book a one-on-one session, and send me a message on LinkedIn. Also, join my upcoming retreat in 2025, Soulful Restoration. This is just the beginning. God is still unfolding what He's doing through my life. And if you're listening to this too, I believe He's calling you deeper. All right, you are not alone. You're just healing. And healing will change who you choose and what you accept and how you lead. Until next episode, stay beautiful, stay calm, stay confident. Bye. Thank you for spending time with me today on Emotional Healing for Christian Women. If this episode blessed you, please leave a review and share it with a friend who needs encouragement. And don't forget to download my new book, Beyond the Hurt, from my website, marvelademi.com.au, and other free resources. Until next time, stay healed, stay beautiful, and stay confident.